Hello, everybody. Pop culture curator here. So good to see you all. We are back again on Wednesday evening for two more episodes of Gilligan's Island. We're season 3, episodes 23 and 24. First, I want to say hello to my good friend, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How are you doing, Gorilla?
I'm doing pretty good, and I actually got supper done way ahead of time here, so I'm already fed up, so fed and ready to go.
Nice.
Instead
I'm
of
glad to hear
last,
that. Go ahead.
yeah, so I'm good. Instead of this last minute making it here and eating it while the intro's going.
That's great. Yeah, I'm glad. That's what, see, that was my problem always. Is I'd have to eat dinner afterwards. It would be really late. Hopefully, it didn't eat too late last night.
No, that's good.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So tonight we are covering, like I said, episodes 23 and 24. And doesn't like we haven't even in the comments yet. But I want to point out that I can point it out now. I guess there's going to be one of the outfits that this is Hal wears in one of these two episodes. It resembles a famous clown. I remember seeing a painting of it. It was just like how she's dressed. I'll point that out when we get there.
All right.
But I guess the viewers ready to go. Get the episode lined up. And so I'm not going to forget on it out. Hello, Gap After Dark. How are you doing there?
Hey, Gap, how's it going? And Gap's just saying, hello, Pops, how are you doing?
Doing good, sir. Good to be here.
Yeah. All right. And he's saying, hello. Yeah, he's having spelling here. Here he goes. Oops, hello, Al.
Hello, hello.
What's this first episode called?
This episode, thank you, is season 3, episode 23, High Man on the Totem Pole. And it premiered on Monday, February 27th, 1967.
All right.
So apparently we start out here with Skipper. And after all this time being on the island, they still tend to get lost, apparently. And they're trying to find their way back to the huts.
Yeah. No, they should have just followed the advice my dad said, because like my dad told me, like if you ever get lost in like a cornfield or anything, just head out in one direction and stay that way, and eventually you'll come to a road, and then you can figure out where you're at.
It's
Here,
a,
they should
yeah,
have just done with that. Just head in one direction, you'll eventually find the shore.
but yeah, that's true. Unless that's the long way around.
Well, then they'll learn not to get lost. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
You think that if you at least know north, south, east, and west, especially with Skipper knowing how to navigate. And of course, it's hard to catch everything because we have skip frames. But Gilligan runs into something and he's immediately frightened. Darn it! Every string frame skips it. Darn it!
Okay.
And if I play the video, it's gonna flag me. There they go. They find it a totem pole, and the top of the pole is this head right here. And we get our opening credits.
Right back in here, a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard a tiny ship. Oh, my kid actually likes the theme song, even though I can't get him to watch an episode with me.
Well, one of these days he will. Give him a little bit of time. And they're whacking away at the weeds and clearing the area. They got the professor with them. And the professor with them is explaining what tribe that was made by. And of course, they spoke a different language, and they're discussing how it has a remarkable resemblance to Gilligan.
Yeah. So he identifies them as the Kupiak natives. Could they be related to the Marabu natives that left the relics in the Two on a Raft episode?
I don't know. It's very possible. Maybe not. Maybe it's on there because different tribes leave their own different marker, kind of like we do a flag.
Yeah.
You get like gang territory. Cooper Kai. He keeps talking about it over and over, and of course, Skipper's telling him just forget about it and go to sleep.
Well, Gilligan just thinks that he could be a headhunter there. I was like, so
An
basically,
ancestor.
being a descendant there does not make you whatever your descendant was there.
Right. And of course, it might just be a coincidence. But of course, they're not going to go that direction. And here they are the next day having breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just sitting there talking, but not much going on in the scene, really.
Oh, there's stuff going on. They're talking about what's going on and with Gilligan and how he's obsessed with thinking he's a headhunter. And they're saying he's much too nice to do that. But of course, Gilligan's basically mentally uh, daydreaming. He's off in another world. And would you like some breakfast? They offer. How about some scrambled eggs? And he just nonchalantly walks on by. Would you like to stay with Mr. Howell? Would you like? They're saying Mr. Howell is going to go. Did they say fish? Or would you like to stay with Mr. Howell? And Mr. Howell says, I thought he could throw up $1,000 bills. And whichever
Yeah,
ones land bottoms up, he gets to keep.
that's kind of funny. In the upside down one.
Right? How are we going to get Gilligan's attention?
This is about the time they just stopped making $1,000 bills because there's so many counterfeits going around.
Yep.
That's why we only got denominations of hundreds. If I'm actually waiting for them to get. Well, actually, they can't get rid of hundreds anymore.
They're not going to get rid of hundreds. No.
Yeah.
Hundreds not that big of a bill.
Yeah, not anymore.
So Mr. and Mrs. Howell do whatever they can to get Gilligan's mind off of the situation. So they have him out driving. They have him out driving them around.
Oh god, I was laughing so hard at the scene because they're trying to get his mind off him, but they kept mentioning the word head, and Gilligan's like, head every time.
Yes.
It was so. I will admit that was kind of funny there.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good. Because obviously Gilligan's trying to get his mind off it too. But what they're saying, it's not helping much. And then Gilligan gets excited and accidentally backs up in reverse and crashes into the totem pole. And Mr. and Mrs. Hollowhead stick up and they're looking at it. And here comes Gilligan. Gilligan has been sitting there staring at that pole all day. So here comes Ginger trying to get his mind off of it. Excuse me.
Well, Gap says these episodes cracked me up. Oh, I'm glad for that, Gap. He says it's a cool song. Uh, yeah, and I love how you think by the third season they figure out Ginger's not the one to send after Gilligan with the flirting there because he doesn't respond to it.
Nope, not much at all.
Uh, I would definitely be responding to it, but of course that's just me. But Gil, I don't know how Gilligan can do it. But
Then it would be Gorilla's Island if it was you.
yeah.
Skipper even made Gilligan a boomerang to try to get his mind off of everything.
I'm surprised they haven't made something like that before. To get Gilligan there to or something.
Well, good thing they hadn't thought about it before. Gives them original idea for this episode. And Skipper Gilligan he finally gets Gilligan's attention and gets him to throw the boomerang. And unfortunately gets Skipper stuck on the tree, totem pole. And Gilligan decides to cut the head off. He wants to take it and put it in their room, and there he is. But then after what happened there, he's starting to think maybe he is more dangerous. So he wants to once again move to the other side of the island so that everybody else is safe. And outside the window we have Professor and the skipper talking about it, saying they don't want him to go to the other side of the island and live alone. So the professor has an idea to go in there and change his mind. So the professor says, if you're going to move to the other side of the island, I want you to have my head as number one. I'd be honored. You're going to turn down the offer of a head. Plus he's giving you an axe. But Gilligan says no to that, throws the axe out of the window. And Skipper comes in all excited. You couldn't do it. I'm not a headhunter, says Gilligan. If I had to die to prove it. But here, unfortunately, we have at the same time the headhunters do decide to come and visit the island. And when they find their totem pole, they are not impressed. Since the head's been chopped or knocked off the top, to them is an insult to their tribe. So they want to go and hunt down whoever's responsible.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. The Pacific Islands weren't known for making totem poles, but in like Native American cultures, it's always the low man on the totem pole, like the one on the bottom. That's the most important, not the person on top there.
That's
Just a
interesting.
little useless. So basically, they have this back. That's where you get the low man on the totem pole is usually the most important person, even though we tend to use it as an insult now.
Cool. It's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
So as the headhunters are headed to find revenge, Professor and Skipper spot them and notice them. And they hurry up and duck down just as the headhunters walk by. And they realize what has happened, and the headhunters are probably going to come looking for Gilligan. And there's Gilligan comes back to the totem pole spot. King, King, you and I can be friends. He's still thinking that the head's on the ground. He went to pick it up, and then he sees that it's up on top. And he doesn't know how they got up there, but he says, never mind, I don't think I want to know. And now they decide they better go let the others know. And they catch Gilligan on the way back to the huts before he can warn the rest of the castaways. And at this time, we have the girls taking a mud bath. I've heard of mud packs, says Ginger. Oh, don't knock it, honey. How are we doing on chats?
Oh, we just got one Gap saying that's cool history, Gorilla. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gilligan sees them in the mud and is scared or confused because at first he thinks it's their heads laying on the ground. And they explain, no, it's just a mud bath. And he says, okay, because he, of course, blurts out about the headhunters. And then they say, are you saying there's headhunters on the island? Yes, he says, just give them the first. Oh, man, I can't keep talking.
You okay?
I gotta take, yeah, it's just I gotta take breaths. I'm talking continuously. And it's taking all my voice out of me. The skipper and the professor saw them. I'm gonna have to skip every few frames between talking and just summarize the whole scene because I can't. My voice won't last all night if I read everything.
Let's do that. And welcome, Scurvy. There, he's saying, hey, Pops.
Hello, Lemon. Good to see you. And they capture the Howells. And of course, Mr. Howell tries to bribe him with cash. Oh. And of course, we cannot read all the text and catch all the jokes. So once again, we encourage everybody to try to watch this on your own with physical media. Don't watch any of the streaming services, especially over-the-air television.
All right. Yeah, they apparently they're just gonna eat them because they're gonna turn them into a soup there, which I thought they were headhunters, but apparently they're cannibals also.
Or did they say soup?
Well, that's pretty much what was implied in the episode there.
And so far the natives don't know how many people there are. They kind of, on this show, they sort of kind of use the words cannibals and headhunters hand in hand. So they're trying to figure out a way to help the Howells escape. So they're saying if Gilligan could just dress up as the head king, he could order them to release the house.
Yeah, that's where we find out that they're superstitious there. So they're going to dress Gilligan up as the god there and tell him to release the prisoners in Kubakai there. And here we get to see Gilligan in some makeup there. They must have used something to dark. They must have used like dirt or something to darken his skin. Cause I don't remember him being that dark.
No, they've got it darkened up or something. And obviously around his makeup, obviously got makeup around his eyes and everything. So I think the professor figured out somewhere along the line how to make makeup for the women. And here we are back at the totem pole. And Skipper sacrificed himself to be captured to save the Howls. So he gets him to stall.
Oh yeah, he tries to give him a stall, because they're about ready to throw the cows in there,
He
and
tells
then
him there's 500 Marines.
yeah, like they can understand. But I
Right.
suppose in your desperate times, call for desperate measures. Yeah. And Gap says, I'm glad the show's on Tubi so I can watch for free. Well, Gap, if you ever need a link, just hit me up. I can get you a link to most shows. Just saying. And the rest disappear.
So what
Now, I
happens
don't.
here is the headhunters come in and kidnap the rest of the castaways and take them back to the totem pole. And then when Gilligan comes out of the hut, he's thinking they all left without him.
Yeah. Those jerks! They left without him. Just left them all behind. Another professors.
And of course, Gilligan tells him he's going to try to sneak in there and save him.
Oh yeah, he sneaks up in there when he could really just walk right up.
Right. And he's saying they're telling him to go and tell them to release them all. And he says, how am I going
Oh
to tell them to release them all? I only
yeah,
rehearsed to say release the house.
yeah. Well, the one thing that we kind of skipped over there is that they spent a couple hours there rehearsing what Gilligan was gonna say, and he could never say it right.
Yeah.
And that saying was uh just a sec. Oh, that's not the one.
I don't know if they showed it on screen or not.
Well, no, they did show it on screen here, and the saying was uh is Pula si Bagumba
Thank
or
you.
Pulu si Bagumba. Yeah, so but they knock down the head, and Gilligan decides to put it back up there before they notice.
And they see the head moving and they're confused and suspicious. So they're walking over and taking a look at it.
And the whole time here, he's just sitting there stepping on Skipper's head, and Skipper's just putting up with it because he can't say nothing. Smash,
Yes.
smashers, and they bow down. They bow before their one of their what they interpret as their god.
And then Gilligan falls to the ground.
Yeah. Hey, and welcome to Taylor Swift greater than anything Star Wars, MCU, Doctor Who, and or anything on TV.
I love Taylor's. All right, you've longer gun. So apparently these headhunters know English because they call uh, Gilligan out on the English. As they say, you know English? You've been dead so long I forgot.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He wasn't speaking proper Kupakai there. They asked him, and now that's the one thing I noticed with these natives here. Maybe you can explain this, Pop. How come they were speaking English most of this episode here? Is it just they couldn't afford a translator this time, or they just thought screw the translating thing and just do English?
It depends on the writing of the episode.
Okay, because this is the first time I think we've
Yeah,
seen the natives actually speak English.
it's possible.
Yeah. And welcome Suzanne and PvP.
Hello, Suzanne and PvP.
Yeah.
So the head from the statue falls to the ground again. This scares them, causing them all to panic and run away.
Yeah, well, they thought they killed their god.
Yes.
So, yeah, and so that worked out a lot better than it normally would have. And I love this bit here. And they actually left it in for syndication too.
That they
This last
did.
bit. Yeah.
Thank God for once, right?
Well, I don't think they had to worry too much on time for this one.
When are you going to stop working? They say about looking like some chap
All right.
on a totem pole. Gilligan's working on that totem pole all day long, and he has a surprise he wants to show the rest of the castaways. And that's a present for Mr. Howe. So
Yeah.
he's saying next time they get visitors, they can look for someone. Their king was Mr. Howe.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Mr. Howell's the yeah. Mr. Howell could be the one being chased.
Amazing writing this over to be immortalized in your own time.
And that doesn't happen very often where people get the will get their glamour in their own time, instead of afterwards.
No, the lucky ones closest to it are people that have like family crypts, or they may have a headstone that's already created before they're dead, and
Yeah.
it'll say the name on it, and then it'll have the birth date and then a dash, and then it'll be blank, and it'll be waiting for them to die, and then when they die, they'll bury them, and then put the death date, the day they actually died.
Yeah,
So in the case,
my
right?
grandpa's has that where my grandma's out there, and then my grandpa's is like got the same headstone type thing. They got
Right.
like a big black heart thing. My grandma's there with her birthday and death date on there, but my grandpa's just has the birth date on it right now. So once he
Exactly.
dies, then it'll be added to it.
When did she pass away?
Oh, that was 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, it was lung cancer.
Yeah, and see, with me, that's why what I did with my mother when she died in 2002, I thought, well, I'd like to get buried next to her, not in the same lot like your grandparents, but in the lot next to her. And because if I wanted to get buried in the lot that she's in and match headstones like her, then when the point comes that I die, I have to have signatures, permission from everybody in my family who related to her in order to be buried in her plot. And I didn't want to go through all that crap because I knew we were all moving around to different places. I knew we'd be losing touch. I don't know where most of them are. So I bought the plot next to her. And when I bought the plot, so there's no question about it. When I die, all I got to do is go pay the fee to have myself dropped in there. No questions asked. And they don't need any extra signatures. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. I've been working on that this week. But enough of that grisly stuff.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to queue up our next episode here.
Yes, we
PvP says
are.
hi to Poppin' Gorilla. Suzanne says hello, Poppin' Gorilla. Yeah, long time no see, Suzanne. It was been about an hour. Yeah, say PvP and Suzanne. Suzanne had everybody saying hi to each other,
I'm
and
glad you guys all
PvP
came by tonight. Thank you.
yeah PvP says a bit late. Had to get a prescription and groceries. No, no worries, no worries. That's more important. Have having grouchy internet. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it, but when you're in a small towns, that you can get those glitchy internets there.
Well, that
And
is true.
PvP says the natives are restless again.
Yeah, you can never
And
trust them.
PvP says sadly many of us have forgotten once family and friends pass on. Yeah, that happens. Pop, yuck, my family has a crypt in the Caribbean. No thanks. It's a huge tomb, generations of family in that thing.
So you got to make sure you can get your body out there when you hit the bucket.
Well, I don't think, well, the way she phrased that, I don't think she wants that there. Uh,
Well,
yeah.
I remember before my mom died, even before she died, we were talking about planning her burial. And I said, kick the bucket. And she had a sense of humor. So she always laughed. When you when you talk about it seriously, it's on a much more depressing note. The same thing when they said, "So, what casket would you like?" And I'd say, "You mean coffin, right? Coffin." Oh, sir, it's called a casket. And I said, "No, it's a coffin."
Yeah. Uh, yeah, PvP says that's just the way it is for most that don't achieve fame. Yeah. And Suzanne says, my parents got a four-person plot. It's my mom, dad, my brother, and they stuck grandma in the other spot. I got my stuff covered. Well, that's good to know there, Suzanne. And
Yo,
welcome, Pickles.
hey LDG, good to see you. Welcome.
Oh, did I accidentally cut you off?
No,
Okay.
welcome LDG. Good to see you.
All right, we're all caught up on chats here.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Oh yeah, the important thing is though is just make sure you make arrangements to get from where you are to where that body burial is. So you've got to like me. I've got to pay for the flight to have my body, whatever remains, sent to California, and then California has a special tax, of course, and then whatever the cemetery charges. So that's what I'm doing right now. So it's not cheap and it's not quick and easy. They're always trying to gouge you at every corner. But are there any more comments?
Um, let's see. Uh, some just popped up. Nah, I did science options, and medical school takes my uses me for medical skills and they handle cremation and give me to the boy, no charge to him. Yeah, that's the way I was thinking of doing it too.
Give him to the boy. What does that mean?
Uh, her grandson son there. So basically, after they're done doing the cadaver study, at
Yeah.
the medical school, they'll cremate her. Then that they'll give the ashes to her grandson.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And PvP says my mom was cremated just a single cardboard box container with no service. She was very down to earth person and didn't want a big fuss when she passed.
Well, that's how my mom was too. And you're right. My dad also. It's just a cardboard box, and you would think by looking at it that it's relatively cheap, but it's not. Give you around $1,000 starting just to have your body cremated.
Yeah. All right, so that's all our chats there.
Thank you, sir. All right. And now we're moving on to season 3, episode 24, The Second Ginger Grant. And this episode originally aired on Monday, March 6th, 1967. And let's hope it. Oh, did I get the subtitles signed up? Let me see.
Uh, I'm not sure. I didn't see.
Give me just a moment, guys. Otherwise, we'll be playing the subtitles from the last episode.
Um, a little useless information here. This is one of Dodwell's favorite episodes, but
Oh, that's interesting.
is also very popular among her fans.
Interesting, because they had to dub her voice for her singing. So it opens up with Ginger performing. Nobody else but you.
Oh, yeah, she was singing this here, and I was surprised that Mrs. Howell wasn't given the Mr. Howell the glare there the way he was looking at Ginger. I was expecting the old glare that everybody knows, the look.
Well, you can sometimes, but if you overdo it, it's going to make her look like a bitch.
Well, this was one of the times she should have done it.
Well, the way it's written in the episode and the way they're portraying it is everyone is amazed to see Ginger's talent.
Yeah, and Gilligan's just sitting here hungry. I'm hungry, and everybody's like, he's like the one person who won't shut up during the movie in the movie theater, pretty much.
Right, he's the only. Yeah, he's like the only one that's not really enthralled with the show. And even Marianne tells him, "Will you hush up? I'll cook some dinner as soon as we're done."
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. So PvP says, I plan on being cremated. I'd rather be burned up in 8 hours than decomposed for centuries. That's just me. Either option isn't anything I'm looking forward to, lol. And Gap says, at least you won't feel it, PvP. I hope so, Gap. The buggers better be sure I'm stone cold dead. Hey, PvP, how about we just put a bell on there? That way you can ring it so someone can dig you up. Yeah, if you wake up. Because that's how we got the old graveyard shift, anyhow. What was because people were getting buried live there. Then someone had so they started putting bells with the string down into the coffin there, so people can ring it if they wake up. Yeah, that's how you get the graveyard shift. And Gap says right PvP, and Gap is laughing. So now, one of the funniest things I've ever seen with the funeral though was some guy died and he had someone put a speaker inside his coffin there. So when they're getting ready to bury him there, he started going, "Hello, hello, it's dark here. Wake up, bloody bastards! Wake up! I'm not dead. Wait, hello, hello." It was so funny. Here. And PvP says, I'm being cremated, girl. A bell would help once the flames start. Okay, we'll put a string attached to a bell in your urn there, PvP.
That's
And
true.
Gap says, laughing.
Or if you could have somebody rig it up for you, maybe put it on a timer, and then we have a certain amount of a certain amount of time the bell goes off.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an idea. All right. That's all the chat's there.
Okay. See, you can see they're going on the way to show Marianne is completely enchanted with the performance.
Yeah, and yeah. So it's so basically like Marianne is probably feeling a little bit inferior, because Ginger's getting all this attention. That's why she almost wants to adopt her identity in a way
Possible.
because she's feeling inferior.
Yeah, that's possible. So everybody gets the show's over. Everybody gets up to leave, and Marianne is applauding, and she's so into it. She's watching Ginger, and she's walking backwards, and unfortunately, she trips over a rock, hits her head, and gets knocked out. So Gilligan comes to rescue. Are you okay, Marianne? And she said, why are you calling me Marianne? You're not Marianne? She said, of course not. I'm Ginger. So there we go. There's the plot for this episode. And we got our opening sequence of heroes as usual.
Yeah. And this is our second episode that had someone get amnesia. The first one was the skipper and Forget Me Not.
Yes. That's how popular amnesia was back in the 60s. Good old trope. Look, even Star Trek used it a couple times, right?
What, the amnesia?
Uh-huh.
TNG has done that a couple times, I think, and a
Star
Voyager,
Trek,
I believe, it once.
Kirk with I Am Kirok, right?
You,
TOS
you,
used it a few times, I think.
yeah. I'm not sure on that one there. I'm not as familiar with TOS, but I know TNG's used the amnesia thing a couple times. DS9, I think, did.
And by then it was really old. That was the 80s and 90s.
Well, DS9 did one where he didn't quite have amnesia, but he had to put a bunch of clues together to figure out what's going on. And it was attacked, and it was his brain was shutting down. But because he was genetically altered, that's what saved his life.
Gotcha. But still, the TNG tend to, or Star Trek, we got TOS, and then it seems like all the series after that just kept copying themselves and rehashing the same stories over and over. They had trouble coming with original ideas, which I was not a fan of, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So Professor is examining Marianne, asking her questions psychologically to see what's going on. Everything seems to be perfectly normal. Ginger's voice, but she's speaking. It's Marianne's voice, but she's speaking like Ginger would. Well, good that you won't mind completing the examination. So he's asking her, who am I? And she said, you're the professor. And the skipper, Gilligan, stepped in. He said, who are they? That's the skipper and Gilligan. And they say, okay, everything's fine then. Who are you? And she says, well, I'm Ginger. So she's not quite all right. So he's basically saying that it's her infatuation with Ginger as she was watching the performance when she was struck on the head is what caused this to happen. And Gilligan says, it's a thing you should know, Lassie. We're going to have to go along with her fantasy until I can come up with a solution. Sorry, I can't do a lot of talking.
Yeah. PvP here says, I think they are pretty thorough these days, declaring that you deceased these days. He goes, I hope. Yeah, keywords there, PvP. I hope. Captain, let's hope PvP. There never was much hope. A fool's hope, but hope.
It also
and
depends on who you are when you're dying, how much they go through of a struggle to try to revive you. If you're rich and powerful, they're going to do everything they can under the screen, uh, everything they can to revive you, to keep you alive. If you're like, let's say, old and poor, when you get to where it's time to die, they don't really do much.
yeah, and TOS did use the amnesia trope gorilla, the paradise syndrome. I am Kirok. Okay, I gotta watch TOS again.
Shame on you didn't watch Jill's coverage of it.
Yeah, I did.
You don't remember it?
No, I don't remember every single detail. They're not. I'm more rehearsed in DS9 than I am TNG. But so here we got Mrs. Howell. She's all confused on it because Marianne is now Ginger, and Ginger is supposed to be Marianne, but she's not putting two and two together. It's just a body switch.
Right. And the reason why he's explaining this to her is because they want to dress Ginger up to look like Marianne in the meantime, and they went to Mrs. Howell to make a wig.
Oh yeah, yeah, because which I don't know why they're trying to go along with the charade. There, you think you'd want to try to convince her that she really is Marianne.
Right. Slap some sense into her, I guess, right?
Yeah, literally slap her. I heard that with the amnesia patients that just bonking them on the head again could fix it.
No, that's not true. That's an old myth. It does not work, and it could cause more damage. But the worst, that's how they ended a lot of these shows, was just hitting them again or recreating the event circumstances, and it would correct the issue. But no, that is not true.
Yeah.
And here we are with Ginger. Sorry, Marianne dressed as Ginger. Gilligan tries to
And
get
they're
out of there as quick as possible.
yeah, well, she's trying to rehearse a play there, and she's trying to make out with Gilligan, which I would not turn down Don Wells. I'll tell you that right now.
Not at all. Well, you always had that. You've always heard that people are voting Marianne or Ginger. This is the one episode where you get to see kind of both.
Yeah.
So now she's talking about the character in this book that they're rehearsing. And that the man in the book is spurning her love. You have anything you want? And he says, root beer?
Come on, Gilligan. Rehearse your have a good night, Gap.
Good night, yeah. Good to see you. And she grabs him for a hug and a kiss, and he actually gets a good kiss from her. Unfortunately, Gilligan, as you can see, the far left of the screen, runs away. He says, we've all got to distract her. And he says, basically, you got to go back, keep distracting her while they finish making Ginger up to look like Marianne.
Yeah. Now here's a question: if Skipper knew what she was doing with Gilligan there. Do you think the skipper will offer to switch places? They
Yeah,
have
I don't
the
know if he really
skipper
knows what
the
she's doing.
instructor.
Then that would make him look like a horn dog, I guess.
Yeah.
So Gilligan goes back, and while she's lamenting, he walks by. Okay, where were we? And she goes back to rehearsing on. And what's funny about this is, as we all know, Gilligan's the soundtrack and the music is excellent. And I couldn't play a sample because we can't do the video here without getting stricken by copyright. But what's funny here is you would think of the romantic music when they show this scene, but it's not. It's the dreaded blaring horns, like something frightening is happening. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah. All right. We got a few chats here. PB
Cool.
says, I think we're. Oh, I already read that here. Scurvy here says, you don't want that Kill Bill 2 scenario where she has to punch through the coffin, PvP.
Oh
The
no.
caps is bedtime for me, night owl. Have a good one, everyone.
Good night.
And then PvP says, my mom had a do not resuscitate order she signed years before she passed. She figured when her time was up, it was up.
They asked me
Yeah.
last week. I'm doing all that now. They asked me that last week. They said, "You want to do not resuscitate order?" And I said, "Until I find a place for my dogs, I want to be resuscitated." And I said, "As soon as I find a place, which I'm now doing, then I will change that." So I understand what that's like. Go ahead.
All right. So PvP says, pretty much any kiss from her would be good. Yeah. And hey,
I totally agree.
they found a wig. I'm guessing it was from the Castaway pictures.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Mm. Oh, that's nasty. What's the next? Is that it for the chat? Hello, hello.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
that's
that it?
all the chat.
Oh, okay. That's what I
That's
was
right.
waiting for. I think you did a remarkable job, Mr. House, she says. Marianne wears her hair exactly like that. What do you think, Professor? I know what it is. It's her walks. They started arguing over that the way Ginger has learned how the way Marianne walks. They walk differently.
Oh, and none of them are right. They like just
Of
walk
course,
cat regularly, but everybody had go. No, she
exaggerate.
walks like this.
And
Which
what's funny is Mr. Howell's the only one that picks it. It's the funny walk, the Bob Hope walk. He says no, she walks like Bob Hope, and he actually does do a pretty funny impression of Bob Hope.
yeah, the rest were like stereotypical woman walks, weren't they?
Yeah, so over the top, stereotypical women walk. And Mrs. Howell comes in, and she's just loving it because it's hilarious to see the men walking around like this. And she says, "Is that going to be Marianne? I guess I should go check on dinner. Or may I dress like Marianne and walk like Marianne?" But she says, "I can't cook like Marianne."
Yeah, she still kicks like Ginger. And we get that's funny. Low sodium, low cholesterol, and lousy cooking. Mr. Hollis to stay away from. But being on a tropical island, as much seafood as they have to eat, that he still probably be taking in a lot of sodium. I don't think he has to worry about cholesterol.
Yeah, and at least they're getting healthy stuff with the fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure how that works with does the seafood really have a lot of salt in it? I'm not sure.
Well, if it's seafood and it comes from the ocean, maybe. And they probably have certain levels depending on the species of whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
I immediately spotted this thing that Ginger's carrying. Obviously, it's like, whoa, what is that? That's nothing they'd never seen before on the island. Unless they made it custom made, maybe it goes over like a barbecue grill. So I thought that's a pretty nice design. If I can catch this.
Oh, this is only the second time Ariane faints in the series. Yeah,
There
the
it
first
is.
time was in Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, which we just covered not too long ago.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fish pie, which does not look very appetizing. What are you? Oh, this is a part that it's a kind of a stretch of the imagination. So, and it also makes you think, well, it, what's going on is Marianne, thinking that she is Ginger, realizes that the clothes don't fit her; they're all too big. So, if that's the case, then how's Ginger able to get Marianne's clothes to fit? So, what Marianne is doing is she's taking all of Ginger's dresses and cutting them down to size. So, that's what Ginger says, what are you doing with all my your dresses? Well, I've been trying them on, but they're all much too big for me. They're all stretched.
I would be a little upset with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's something that, if they're a little hard to believe, this is probably where Ginger would go back to the other castaways and say, "Look, enough is enough." But she's not going to destroy my dresses. We don't know how long we're going to be on this island, and I can't be stuck with all my wardrobe destroyed. And they would agree with her. She says, "I'm going to cut all my dresses down to fit. In fact, I can be here all night." Poor Ginger. "You better put that brief back on. Marianne might see you." She says, "That's okay." She was up all night cutting dresses. And here we go. Marianne comes rushing in and she sees Ginger as Marianne, which surprises, shocks, confuses her, and she passes out. "Oh, I told you, I told you." So Mr. House says, "We've got to do something." So he's going to try to hypnotize her. However, hypnosis can be used in cases like this. But in her present condition, I'm afraid it might not work. But he's going to try it. And of course, Gilligan is spying from the window.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. This is like the second episode we had to do hypnotism in, and the other one was the Forget Me Not there, but I don't think that the professor had that one there. So apparently that showed up in between episodes.
Yeah, he used a different item last time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of Mrs. Howell's jewelry.
Or it could have been a gift from the Howells.
True. Now he tells her, "I want to say the name Marianne. I want you to repeat me." Of course, I can't repeat all the text. He's saying, "I will become Marianne." Uh, Skipper tells him to stay away from the window. And he wakes her up. "Well, now how do you feel? Forget about Marianne. What about me?" What did I see in a ginger? And then we have Gilligan taking a bath in the tub in the hut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and this is another one here. I think there's only like one other episode that we see this tub actually. I think. Uh, let's see.
Yeah, it's not very often.
Yeah, the only other time we see it is Gilligan gets bugged.
Yeah, you would think practicality wise it would be a pain in the butt to fill and drain.
Oh yeah, and especially dragging the hammocks out, and then putting the bathtub into the room there.
Yep. So Gilligan said, Skipper says, poor Marianne. And when he does that, because Gilligan had been also hypnotized, it triggers Gilligan to suddenly think that he's Marianne.
Yeah. And get out, get out, get out, get in there. Oh man, I was laughing. Because all he had said was poor Marianne, and apparently that's what triggered him to become Marianne.
Right, and that upsets Skipper. A lady taking a bath, are you nuts? Well, now Gilligan thinks he's Marianne. That's the suit I mentioned earlier.
Oh, there
I
we go.
think Mrs. Howell was dressed like a clown in this episode. There used to be a famous clown painting with a black background. It was basically that suit, the blue, the big collar like that, a little blue hat, and the red flower at the top. I thought it was an unusual choice of clothing for this episode, or for this scene. I don't know if I've ever seen it on Gilligan's Island before, or ever will again. I don't know.
We probably won't. And yeah, apparently the skipper's all got soaking wet because Gilligan shoot him out and just starts splashing water at him. I have to go get the professor.
Yes. And they're losing count of everybody thinking they're everybody. And now we have Gilligan who thinks he's Marianne, looks around and realizes that he's in the boys' hut. And she gives up her bags and the boys' clothes. What are they doing here in the girls' hut? Now let me see if I have it right, Thurston. And there's where Gilligan, you can see in the background, he comes running out because he thinks he's Marianne. Why do you keep calling me Gilligan and why do you have my clothes on? So Gilligan's confused. You are not Marianne, so they're rehypnotizing Ginger. And now that he sees that he's in the towel in front of Ginger, he's shy and he's running back to the boys' hut.
Oh, that's an easy fix.
Yeah, you think they would try that with Marianne? And then Professor, once he has an idea, I've got it, to help Marianne regain her identity. Would it be better if she went back to being herself? What's your idea, says the skipper? A show? Why, sure. He says we'll have Marianne perform as Ginger. and she'll want to perform. But when she sees that she can't perform up to gender standards, that she'll come to realization what's going on. Is basically what he says. Marianne will become Marianne again. And I want to welcome you to her truly. So here we have Mr. Howell as the host again. Welcome to her truly. And can't read. I can't get the text in order. Sorry, because it skips the frames.
Now, now with this here, uh, Don Wells actually sings as Ginger in her real voice here, but in
No,
other episodes like the "Don't Bug the Mosquitoes," there, the voice was actually supplied by Jackie DeShannon.
right. Dawn Wells cannot sing, so this is not her here either. In fact, the cast used to, when they did sing together, like Merry Christmas and have parties and get-togethers and so forth. They said Dawn Wells was the worst singer. She could not carry a note.
And I like the dress she's in here. And everybody's like, "What the?
Yeah.
Get it over! I don't want to be here. Let this be done."
And she notices, even Marianne realizes that she's missing some of the notes, but then she starts to lose the lyrics too. She asks Mr. Howell to start over, and he says, okay, and she does start over. But then the performance starts faltering because she just doesn't have the talent that Ginger has. And she collapses on the stage. And Gilligan once again comes to her rescue. And he helps her up and she says, come on, watch the steps. And then she says, what was I doing up on the stage? Didn't you hear that? Marianne wants to know. Yes, Marianne wants to know. That's wonderful. I could kiss and I think I will. And
Yeah,
then
so
this is Howell's realizing that they're all realizing who they are again, so everybody's back to normal.
so basically, bonking her head again fixed it.
Yeah, that's the way they're making it look. Why is Ginger dressed like that? Said Marianne, oh, I guess she must think she's me. And they're all laughing.
Yeah,
And now we have the next day in the girl's hut. Or Ginger, I know
and
many sorts of the latest style back home.
yeah, but I'm actually surprised they hadn't done this to their clothes sooner. Make them all uh, cut down as much fabric as you can with the big tropical island there.
Or what you could do is you could hem them up without having to cut the fabric off. Literally, like just folds it up into a hemline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, oh, it's catching on because look what we have here. And here
Yeah.
comes Gilligan with his new style.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's so impressive.
Yeah, but we probably won't see this again. This whole scene was emitted from syndication.
I wonder why they
Um,
did that.
Either time or it wouldn't have been showing too much leg there, but
Oh, no, as far as censorship, no, there was nothing to worry about.
I'm guessing
I
for
think it was
time.
time. In other words, when we're talking about censorship, it's getting where they cut out scenes for no reason at all.
Yeah, but I suppose they had a schedule to keep too. And you gotta pay those have to have those commercials.
Yeah, it's not a schedule when the show doesn't matter anymore. There we go. So, Gorilla, tell me, what do you think about this episode? Oh, I want to remind everybody I believe I did put a panel in the chat asking, or a poll asking which episode you prefer the most. If you feel like it, please vote, let us know, and I'll share that with the audience here shortly. So, what did you think, Gorilla?
I think the Totem Pole was a lot better. You know, it's still a unique story. We got to see the headhunters again, even though for some reason that they're speaking English, but I can forgive that, very easily. Versus we just had an episode not too long ago where someone was stealing Ginger's identity and all that amnesia and the amnesia thing. It may have started with this, but it's been used over and over and over again in Hollywood. So therefore, it's kind of kind of to me, I was kind of exhausted with it. I was like, okay, let's get this done. Let's get this done. Let's get this done.
Right,
Versus the other one, I was a lot more entertained on because it hasn't been overly done or that I have seen. And if
right.
I've seen something over and over again, that means it's been way overdone by too many shows.
Well, absolutely, especially like they used to do back then. But I
Yeah,
will have
so
to say, I admit though, I did like, I also like the first one the most. Maybe probably for the same reasons.
yeah,
They were both great episodes, but yeah, I'd say I like the first one the most. It also seems like the plot was a little more faster paced, I guess you could say.
yeah.
I know they're both predictable, but not as predictable as the second episode.
Oh yeah, that one there was totally predictable there.
Yeah, we knew how it was going to be resolved, pretty much.
Yeah, it may have been unique for the time this came out, but since then it's been way overdone. And I'm not very big on pop culture there as much as like some other people. So if I see a lot of something, that means it's been used by a lot more than what I've seen.
Very likely is. It's a good point. All right, so let's share the poll. All right, and thank you all for spending the time with us tonight. And uh, if you voted, thank you especially for taking the time to do that. Which episode did you enjoy the most? So it looks like 80% enjoyed High Man on the Totem Pole, and it looks like 20% with the second Ginger Grant. So yeah, it looks like the chat pretty much agrees with us on this one. So that's very cool. That's a nice
Yeah.
turnout, everybody. Thank you. It's always fun to have those polls, and that way we can get everyone's opinions. And thank you all for also engaging with us in the chat too. That's always fun. It's always good to see you guys, and especially when I've been missing streams lately. I was having trouble with my mic the last few days, so I missed Lost in Space and our Hammer horror movie. But I double promise you, I will be back next week with Lost in Space. We'll get caught up to that once and for all.
All right.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Gorilla, before we close the show up? Oh yeah, why don't you tell us about your channel?
Well, next week we'll be finishing up season 5 of Justified, then starting season 6. Tomorrow for Cringe Stock, we are going to war with Canada with Canadian bacon. And then
Oh,
on,
John's Candy.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
then on Friday we're reviewing 2 episodes of The Waltons. or not 2 episodes. We're reviewing the episode The Job. It's season 3, episode 11. Then if I'm around on Saturday night, we should be doing a watch party of 2 more episodes of the TV series RoboCop, and then we're gonna decide whether or not we want to keep going or not. Because that first episode was so boring, I fell asleep during the stream. It was way
Oh,
too padded out.
no fun.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna decide on that. It's not like the Chris talked there, but we wanted since I was on the RoboCop kick there, I just kind of wanted to check out the TV series because I never even heard about it before,
Uh-huh.
and I could see why I have probably haven't heard about it. But we'll
Yeah.
make the final decision there. We're gonna give it 3 episodes there, and if we don't want to continue, we'll pick something else to watch on Saturdays because I'm holding off on Saturday night reviews because it's summertime. I want to be outside. I want to be knee deep in a creek.
I don't blame you.
Same,
That's good. Sounds like fun. I'd be doing the same thing. Don't waste it.
yeah, yeah. Same thing on Sunday. I'm gonna be knee deep in a creek after I get my brakes replaced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you going to do it
that is it.
yourself or are you having them done?
It's costing me a chicken.
Okay, well, that's good. At least you don't have to get out of that car yourself.
Yeah, I got my coworker offered to help change my brake pads for me. It's just the brake pads.
Very nice.
But
Okay.
he can have them done tonight. He can have them done in 20 minutes. But
That's, that's good to have friends like that.
yeah. Then after I get done fishing there on Sunday, we're doing a special cringe stock cinema Sunday, where we're going to be watching the reboot of RoboCop.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And plus, you've got some shorts you've been putting out there.
Oh yeah. One of them actually took off. It was just a joke. Some of the comments were just hilarious. Where people actually took me seriously.
Oh, well, it depends on who they are.
Because you seen the one with the branch, did you? He's like, oh, I can't come
Yeah.
in today, boss. Boss, there's a branch down in my driveway.
Yeah.
I found it humorous.
Hello, Daniel's Hot Topics.
Hey, Daniel, how's it going? We're talking
And
about the RoboCop 2014 there, Daniel. I heard it's a reboot.
I'm doing okay, Daniel. I'm so glad to be online tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a reboot. But I'm not, I've never seen it and I probably don't have any intention of watching it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna watch it just see how badly they screwed it up.
Okay. And with my channel, should be back starting with Rumblings from the Lab. Sunday, Lost Space. Tuesday, we will be showing the horror of Dracula. And then Wednesday, I'll be back with 2 more episodes of Gilligan's Island from season 3. And I want to thank you most of all, everybody, and especially for your patience, because I know I've missed a few streams. And that really means a lot to me. I'm trying to build up my voice so that it's stronger, but it's still being able to talk for a few hours is not very easy. It starts to go after a while.
Yeah.
But
And
I'll keep doing my best.
yeah, yeah, we hope you can keep doing them there, Pop. And Daniel, we're not doing a review. We're doing a watch party. That's on Sunday at the usual time of 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Okay, and that's where the watch parties you actually watch the movie along with everybody on Cosme.
Yep.
Hello, DVB.
Hey, DVB, I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good to see you, DVB. You were just closing us out. We just finished covering these 2 episodes. I know it's still probably early in the evening for most people, but I know for some people, depending on where you are, like Gorilla, he needs to get to bed relatively early. He has to work in the morning.
Yeah, unfortunately. Uh, DVB here says, sorry I missed the show. I had contractors remodeling my bathroom for the last 3 weeks. Oh, fun.
I bet you'll be glad when that's done. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Gorilla?
Nope, I think we're good.
Well, I want to thank you again, Gorilla, for helping me with the chats tonight. I definitely could not have done it without you. So helping me keep the show running is always a tantamount importance to me.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. So good night, everybody. Take care. I hope to see you all soon on my next stream, which should be Rumblings in the Lab Saturday night at 8 o'clock if I don't do a stream sooner. And thank you, Gorilla, for being my co-panelist and good friend. And also for helping me get my audio fixed. So definitely you're there when I needed the help.
No problem.
Good night, everybody.